Sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's green where you water it, and we water the grass here.
Tell us what it was like being at the dunk last night.
That was the most chaotic environment I've ever been in my life.
Friartown is Titletown tonight.
Here's Pip, guarded by Gillespie. Steps back, spins, fires! Woo! Pip gets!
Who run shit like me? Top 5 basically. I still play for keeps, ain't no fantasy, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back finally to Divine Providence. This is season 2 episode. I've completely lost track at this point in time, which is okay because we've had a lot going on between the three of us. I obviously had a kidney transplant, which is exciting stuff. Mac has been sailing around the world on his private boat, which is exciting, and he's been tagging the Divine Providence stickers everywhere across the Caribbean, which is awesome. And Mike's been in the gym getting some shots up because he's ready to step in at the 2-guard for the Providence College Friars, which we probably could use at this point. Anyways, I know it hasn't been the best last few weeks since we checked in with you guys, but we're still here. Program still exists. We're all still alive. So we're going to have some fun today. Mac, how was your trip?
The fact that I walked away from a week in the Caribbean, not on my private boat. I want to clear that up. That was, I appreciate the bump, but the fact that I walked away from a week in the Caribbean, not sunburnt, is beyond me. But yeah, great time, but ready to get back to the nitty gritty. We got to talk some Friars hoops. It's not great right now, but it's Friars hoops nonetheless.
Yeah, it's for sure not great. It's some dark times here in Friartown, but it's also some really bright times here in Friartown because our beloved bud Leb is safe and sound after his kidney surgery. I can't. Safe and sound. Just so happy to see this kid's face right here, hanging out with us, talking some Friar hoops. So even though things are pretty shitty right now, it could be way worse. And we got Leb back with us, and we're doing the pod, and that's what really matters.
Yeah, it's been a rough 3 weeks. Recovery's been tough, and medications are tough. I'm not going to bore anyone, but I'm just incredibly grateful for everything that's happened to me, and incredibly grateful that I've been able to struggle through the recovery process. Because the other alternative is you're struggling through kidney failure, which is immensely, way worse. And everyone just, I just want to give everyone such a big thanks for everyone's concern, the messages, the tweets, the texts, everything. Everyone's been just so gracious and kind to me, and really makes me, very emotional because it shows just how many people care, which is just reassures how special of a place that Friartown is and the fan base that we have. It's just phenomenal. So and we're going to try to give back to you guys. Obviously, I know no one's really extremely happy right now, but we're going to try to make you laugh a little bit, and that's all we can really do at this point. So,
but that's why this community is so special is when one of our fellow brothers or friends or sisters or whoever is struggling, everybody steps up to help. And, around Christmas and New Year's, you realize how important friends and family are. And the wins and losses we want them. We don't want the losses. We want the wins. And it bothers us, when our team isn't doing well. But again, I just want to reiterate again, we realize what really is important, and that's this community that we've built and that we're a part of. And I think that is the beautiful thing about all of this. Even though in some tough times when the basketball is going on, we have some beautiful times here within the community, and we all support each other. So everyone should pat each other on the back in Friartown, and because there's just a lot of special people within this community.
This this fan base is unreal. We get to see it firsthand, every day online, but at least once a week at the amp. We've kind of talked off air about once this team's good, in every facet, once this team is good, things are going to be humming. It's going to be a well-oiled machine. But the ones that stick around during these lulls and kind of stretches of underwhelming basketball. The ones that stick around are those are the fans that deserve, the Sweet 16 runs, the single digit number next to Providence's name. So shout out to all the fans that are sticking through the hard times, and our job is just to keep the vibes up.
Yeah. And like, while we're trying to keep the vibes up, we're also not stupid, and we're also fans first, and we're honest, and we know that there's issues, but we also, I hope a lot of our listeners and fans realize that we have to do toe a line. We can't outwardly say like, hey, everyone needs to be fucking fired. Like, let's gut the entire program. Like, I don't believe that's necessarily the case anyways, but we know that there's problems, and we know that if things don't turn around, then a change has to be made. We all know that. But we also do know that there's a lot of basketball left to be played this year with a really talented roster. And I'm excited for the rest of the year. It doesn't mean, I'm not like, hey, like we're fighting an uphill battle, obviously. Like, everyone knows that. But there's still a lot of basketball left to be played, and they have a chance January, third, right? St. John's 3rd. Yeah. To, get a marquee win on the road in Madison Square Garden. That's all you can ask for at this point,
And I do think this team could still be anybody on any given night, even though the defensive woes are just really frustrating game after game. You would have thought some improvements would have been made, and we haven't really seen many. But if you have an on night from Vaaks and Sellers and Edwards, they're going to be too much for some of these teams. They're going to have too much scoring. That's going to happen at some point. They're going to end up upsetting a couple teams, and everyone's going to be surprised. That's going to happen. Now, am I saying they're going to string together 13, 14 wins here, and we're going to be, marching in we're going to be in the tournament in March? Probably not at this point.
Right.
But can win on any given night. Again, we've been saying this all year. There's too much talent on this team to not pull out a couple of these upset wins. And Vaaks, since that first half against URI, he's been kind of ice cold. But, this kid could get hot at any given moment. Edwards has been scoring the ball at will. Sellers has been awesome. It's just it's a lot of these effort plays. It's a lot of these effort plays when it comes to rebounding and defense and busting your ass. And we'll see if that changes here in the new year.
I think the most frustrating thing about watching this team this season is that the talent is there. I think last year it was clear you missed on some guys in the portal. It wasn't necessarily a lack of effort. It was more of a lack of talent. We have seen Jayson Edwards at his best. We have seen Jalen Sellers at his best. We have seen Stefan Vaaks at his best. We've seen Osman Arumse at his best. We've seen all these guys play at a high level. The frustrating part about this team is that you haven't seen it all come together. I would go as far as to say this team doesn't have a quality win all year. And that's what's making me bang my head against the fucking wall, is that you can see the talent clear as day. I'm getting red in the face saying something's got to change, even from last year. Like, something needs to change. We need to see a change. It's you gotta look inward.
It's got to be brand of basketball. That's what it's got to be. It's what they lack is a winning brand of basketball, right? They're good. They're good players. These guys, some of these guys deserve NBA looks. Vaaks, Sellers, but they don't play that winning, gritty brand of basketball.
And I said this in our text thread the other night. This could be a bad comparison here, because obviously I'm not trying to compare these guys to Larry Bird. But I was watching an old Celtics game on NBA TV the other night. It was a Christmas Day game, Celtics-Knicks in like the late 80s. I forget when it was. And I watched almost the whole game. I'm watching Bird. This guy is the best player on the court, and he's busting his ass the whole time he's out there. Celtics get a rebound. He is sprinting down the other end of the floor for a transition layup. Rebound goes up. He is searching for a body to put his ass into and rebound, and he gets the damn rebound. He's making the extra pass. Larry Bird was one of the greatest players ever, but it was the effort When I was watching the whole entire game, it was clear as day why he was the best player on the floor. Not only because he could shoot the lights out, but this guy's busting his ass. He's one of the best players in the NBA. And those effort plays change everything for a team. And if you have a couple guys making more effort plays, I think things could change. I'm not saying that we haven't seen them, because I have seen Edwards dive on the floor, Mela bust his ass. There are spurts of it. But overall, when it comes down to the rebounding and grabbing loose balls, it's infuriating watching some of these plays, especially with Oswin. And the ball's up and he's just like, maybe I'll grab it. No, grab the ball, find a body, box out. I think some of the effort plays could really change things in some of these closer games here for this team.
And I think that's what's frustrating. You mentioned Oswin. Oswin rebounding genuinely is exhibit A of me banging my head against the wall saying the talent's there. Where the fuck, like, where are the winning plays?
Yeah.
Oswin came in, he's talented. There's no question that he's not a talented athletic freak. He was, I believe, the first recruit Kim signed when he came to Providence. Top 30, if I'm not mistaken. The talent's there. He jumps out of the gym. He was leading the friggin' country in block shots earlier in the year. I'm not sure if that still holds. I'd have to look that up. But, ball goes up. You're getting babied by a dude who's half your size, going up, being more physical, grabbing the board. The ball's just going through your hands. It's frustrating, and it's just, like I'm red in the face watching it.
Yeah. It's it is frustrating, and Oswin's a great example because he is a great player and he's very talented and he's got a great body for all facets of the game. Outside of score, I like scoring. We don't need him to score. I'm not saying he's a bad interior scorer. He could be good if he wanted to. But yeah, like rebounding, man. I mean, he's got a good. He's not just tall. He's not like just this lanky kid. Like, he's got a really good body. I don't know if he knows how to use it 100%. And I think that a lot of blame has to be on his development, which is not his fault. Like, we have to remember, it's not his job to get developed. I mean, you come into a program with multi-millions of dollars worth of assets, you should expect to be developed by the coaching staff. Like, obviously he has to put in the time, but I mean, I don't think that's really the problem. I think, overall, I think a lot of this team's issues is the NIL-ification, if you will, of the modern era, where guys are just coming in looking for, the best situation for them financially. And it doesn't lead to, grit, toughness, buying in, wanting to win, wanting to do it for the fans, wanting to do it for the program. It just doesn't translate.
And we're going to get into some of the NIL stuff in a little bit, but I was on the Scout Friars forum and somebody had posted a tweet from Tom Crean, which I thought it was pretty solid. And I wonder if he was talking about us. Somebody in the Providence community quote tweeted it. Alex Simeone said, cough, cough, Providence College. He quote tweeted this. Crean said, more games are lost on defense because teams won't change or adjust their ball screen coverages in a game when it's obviously not working. Having 3 to 4 different coverages in your quote unquote bag is not a sign of a weakness. It's a sign of preparation. And then, like I said, this kid quote tweeted and said, cough, cough, Providence College. And I think that's something that we've seen throughout this year. And yeah, they went to a zone. Was it Butler? It was Butler late. They went to a random zone and Butler hits a 3 against us. And it's like, well, why are we doing that then? And they go right back to man. I think that was a pretty solid look at it from Crean. When you look at defense, it's like, you need to have a shit ton of looks here. And then there's a lot of people on these forums that know ball. Then somebody replied to this, and he's talking about how the PC needs to blitz the ball screen more and force these scorers, like of Dallas. He was doing whatever he wanted. We just kept giving him the same look over and over against Vatek. And it's like, no, blitz it, man. And then force him to give it to somebody else. That's what happens when all these guys are having their career bests against us. It's like, let somebody else beat you. That was something that like Belichick did. He would just take out their best player, their best receiver. And it's like, let the other guy beat you, man. So I think it's the frustration of the lack of adjustments here for us that's been frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, and the same tune you could say about last year. And like, we're starting to see, I think, a common theme. And it's just lack of adjustments. I remember the Zoom call with Knapp and Kim in the offseason where Kim English mentioned, if something's not going right, you're kind of forced with a fork in the road. Do you need to do it better, or do you need to change it and reassess kind of how you go about things? Change something.
Yeah.
And it's not let's double down on the wrong thing because we're not doing it well enough. I'm sure Kim has a plan in his head, and when that plan works to fruition, if that plan ever works to fruition, Providence is a friggin' college basketball utopia.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the scenario and the reality that we live in. You need to adjust. You need to have other defensive looks to go to. You need to, draw up more plays, draw up more offensive sets. Listen, I've watched the same baseline inbound play no less than 97 times this season.
Dude,
yeah,
the inbounding against Butler was insane. And they're just throwing baseball passes to the middle of the court, hoping that our guy will catch it. That was crazy.
I think there's a reason for that though. And Fanta Frierini tweeted at me today actually, and he was talking about I know Leb Zeppelin doesn't like the idea of a zone, and I haven't responded yet because I want to talk about it. But he's right, I don't, because I'm not confident that these guys can do that, because I don't think they've worked on that. I don't think that there's been enough teaching, adjustments on defense are great, and that should happen, but I'm not confident that they're going to be able to implement that. They struggle with basic ball screens in a man-to-man. That's a big indicator that if you were to change the defense entirely to something they've barely worked on in practice, that's probably going to go ridiculously poorly.
Fair.
Is it worth a shot? You probably against a cupcake, but why wouldn't you do it against FDU or against any one of the bullshit cupcake games that we played, or an exhibition game? They didn't go zone once against Harvard. We were all at the Harvard game. They didn't play zone once. So if they're not going to work on it there or try it there or see how it goes there, then you're really going to do it against St. John's at the Madison Square Garden? I mean, kind of suicide.
Right.
So I love the idea of a zone. I think these guys would be fucking terrible at it, personally.
The back cuts in Butler were, I couldn't believe it. And I love Shagman, but some of the back cuts they were getting on Shagman, he was cheating up a little bit away from his man to whoever had the ball, and his guy would just go right by him for an easy layup, and it kept happening. Just stay with your guy. We can't be cheating like that either. So that was something that was killing me. And here I go making excuses again because you talked about some of the cupcakes. We didn't play enough cupcakes. We had a gauntlet of a schedule. We're not talking about that enough. This non-conference schedule stunk. Okay, we were playing tough teams. We were away from home. We flew to the West Coast twice. We had to go to Colorado. We're playing at 900,000 feet altitude. We're going to San Diego. We're playing at Mohegan twice. We're playing tough teams. Just give me a shit ton of cupcakes like Cooley did. I'll play against my alma mater. Let's bring Bridgewater State in. I don't care. Let's get some shots up. Work on, like you said, work on the defense.
Yeah, we're playing this fucking Euro freak in a casino one night, playing on Mars altitude another night.
Right.
It was a tough non-con, and they didn't really get anything from it either. So if you were going to do that, then you got to get something from it.
Right.
But yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
I almost wonder if the aggressive scheduling, and obviously the aggressive scheduling did not pan out, virtually worst case scenario from that aggressive scheduling.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that was because we've talked about what's to come if we either make the tournament or don't make the tournament, what the aftermath of that would be. If that was Kim's way of being super aggressive and saying we're going to build an unshakable resume in the non-conference and we can just kind of manage our way through the Big East. Obviously, like I said, it was worst case scenario, but I wonder if Kim was intentionally being aggressive, trying to schedule these games, or I guess, the program in general. I'm not sure who decides the schedules, but if that was an aggressive strategy, trying to kind of build an unshakable resume come March.
Unshakable. We're fucking Michael J. Fox right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, listen, it obviously did not pan out well whatsoever. And now we're staring down the barrel of another dog shit season. The season's not completely lost, but like your at-large bids are pretty much dust at this point.
Yeah. That Penn State win turned out to be fucking terrible. What's saved them is how well they have done against the Cupcakes. I mean, they really have covered most of those games, and if they hadn't, then we would be looking at probably a mid 90s Ken Palm, hundreds Bart Torvik, which means we would be absolutely cooked, because you cannot go 50 spots in Ken Palm in this conference. You just can't. I mean, you'd have to beat UConn twice and St. John's twice, and that's not going to happen. So we're in the 70s, right? Which means you got to go about 30 spots, which is probably also not likely and not going to happen. But it's better than having to go 50. So you still theoretically have a chance. It's low, but you do still theoretically have a chance.
Yeah. And we just score way too many points to not have beat the crap out of some of those shitty teams too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that goes back to defensive identity.
And that's why going in, like, shout out to Seton Hall, like, that people talking about how good their defense was, like, that wasn't any BS. Like, they held us to the lowest. I'm pretty sure that was the lowest points we scored all season. The Seton Hall game.
Yep.
And they really do have a great defense. Like, we definitely struggled for sure to get going in that game. That was just, I walked out of there. I was so fucking mad. I was so pissed. I'm getting into it with a guy in my section. We're going at it. Friar on Friar crime. I'm like, get me out of here, man.
Just brutal. The Friars, per Bart Torvik, at the time of recording, are not favored in any of their next 5 games. Jeez. They're not favored in 8 of their next 10. Only 2 games you're favored in are home against Georgetown, who also another underwhelming season. And ironically enough, at Marquette. Those are the only 2 games the Friars are favored in.
Sheesh. At Marquette, I know they're having a bad year, but like, that's a house of horrors for us.
Yeah.
I've said this before. We could be number 1 in Ken Palm, and Marquette could be 364. And at Marquette, I would be sweating going into that game. It's just absolutely dripping. So, like, I think it's possible that we win this year, but this team, to win on the road in the Big East, I don't care how bad the opposing team is. Mm-hmm. You got to be a little tough. You got to be a little resilient. You got to be have that hang-aroundedness, to win the Big East. And I know I just made that up, but
I like it.
I just don't see it that much. There may be some flashes, but I just don't see it.
In that Butler game, they had it in their hands multiple times, and to lose the way they did and be in overtime like that was just another gut punch. It was such a gut punch.
Yeah, brutal, absolutely brutal. The Seton Hall game, I was telling Mike before the show, like, when I was watching that game, and it like hurt just to get up and go to the bathroom, like. I could barely wipe my own fucking ass. And just watching them play like pussies just really pissed me off, And I'm not trying to be hard on these guys. Like, they're young guys, and it's not really even a reflection of them. It's just like, this is a city. It's supposed to be a relatively, blue collar area. And we have a relatively, grinded out blue collar type fan base. And yeah, I was just really disenchanted watching the last game against Seton Hall. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that a little bit more in depth. I don't remember like anything from it. But yeah, it was just, I was just really pissed watching that game.
Yeah.
It was.
Go ahead, Mac.
It was just a lot of the physicality. You got. I literally went into that game. I forget who I was saying it to, but I said it like 4 times before the game. You cannot, like, if it turns into a slugfest, Seton Hall is going to beat the piss out of you. And for as close of a game it was at the end, I think Bud Clark hit a dagger with like 30 seconds to go. Seton Hall was, if you watch the game, Seton Hall was in control that entire game. I don't know if the Friars even had a lead. Like they walked in, they beat the piss out of you, and they took your lunch money. This team looked soft. You know what? Leb's piling it on. I'm going to pile it on too. This team was softer than baby shit in the rain. I think I said that about 24 times against Seton Hall. That was atrocious. I mean, and this is a team that is like, this Seton Hall team is pretty offensively inept, like not a great offensive team. Yeah, they have the 131st ranked offense in the country. That's per Bart Torvik. This is a team that hangs their hat on defense. You're a team that hangs your hat on offense, shot making. When those shots aren't falling, you got to find other ways to win. And the physicality was not there. It was guys playing like divas. They were softer than baby shit in the rain.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. And we led by 4 at one point. Their largest lead was 10, but like whatever, it just didn't feel like it. Even at halftime, I went down and saw Mac, and I was just like, I just don't feel good about this. It was just an uneasy feeling. And like I said, I said it before, like the talk about how great their defense was is no bullshit. And they totally threw everything off that we wanted to do. And you could see that. And then on the other end, just, we've all said it. All right. The physicality was just crap. You're not grabbing loose balls. You're not grabbing rebounds. We got out rebounded 35-29. They had 11 offensive boards. We only had 6. We were 5 for 23 from 3. Like, it's not a recipe for winning basketball.
And this is a team on paper going into the game. I thought we matched up tremendously well. I think Seton Hall, metric wise, is probably a much better team, but I think you match up so well against Seton Hall because they don't shoot the 3. Like, their 3-point attempt rate is incredibly low, and that's what's killed the Friars all year. Go back a month where we were screaming to the heavens of just like, defend the 3, stop giving up open threes, stop leaving shooters open. And you see a team that doesn't take those shots very often. You're like, okay, well, cool. That's probably a recipe for success for a team like the Friars. Seton Hall found another way to win. Shaheen Holloway found other ways to win. The Friars did not.
Your big men were in foul trouble all night. Osman ended up fouling out. He had 5 fouls. Hargrove had 4 fouls. Osman only had 3 boards.
Did Pennis get any minutes? I don't think he even
touched
the floor.
No minutes. No minutes.
Like, change something, man. Change something.
Do something. Yeah, I agree.
Hargrove, 13 minutes, 1 point, 1 rebound, 4 fouls. Yikes.
That's really the most frustrating part about being 0-2 in these 2 games, because Butler as well, you had that game in your hands. Seton Hall, you had that game as well. I mean, Seton Hall did control it, but it's a winnable game. I mean, let's be honest. It's a very winnable game. And it's like a little bit of adjusting, just a little bit. All you got to really do is hit on like one adjustment, And I know Kim makes some adjustments here and there, obviously. I'm not saying he doesn't make adjustments. He's a coach. He's coaching, right? Whether it's, effective coaching, that I think we still remains to be seen 100%. But yeah, I mean, like, we're making adjustments. You each got to hit on like 1 or 2 and you win those games. But like, we just don't hit on any of them, And I mean, it's just at some point, it's just like, all right, well, the talent's there, I mean, we're not losing to Duke and Michigan, we're losing to Seton Hall and Butler, and they're close games, and it's like
Right.
the finger's got to be pointed somewhere along the lines,
Yep.
They
Agreed.
could, and I hate, because I love Vox. I hate putting it on a freshman too. But if he could just kind of play, a little bit better, I think it might put them over the top. I mean, 5 for 14. He was 3 for 9 from 3. He had 4 turnovers on the night. A couple frustrating looks from him. So that's been really, because you can see he gets you back in a game. Like he got you in the Vatech game. He got you back in the URI game. He's just, he's a freshman. He's still getting used to the, college basketball here. But he wants it though. That's what I love, is when he's missing shots, he's screaming, he's pissed off. I love to see that though. So at least we have that. But they're going to start falling for him. And like I said, you're going to have a night when Edwards is going on. I think Edwards has been awesome, by the way.
Mhm.
I think Jayson Edwards has been solid. I mean, great. He was 2 for 8, 1 for 6 the other night. So, I mean, he had the best game, but I think overall, coming off the bench, I think he's been good. Sellers is going to be solid for you every night. Jones is continuing to be great for you. He was 4 for 5 from the field the other night, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. He plays solid defense. So you got ingredients here, but you just haven't been able to put it together.
Yeah, I believe Jameer Jones was on the court late versus Seton Hall, which is one adjustment I can be fully behind. I know we talked about earlier in the year where I think we win that Virginia Tech game if Jameer Jones plays the last 5 minutes of regulation.
Yeah.
Because he was the only one that could handle Dallas. I don't give a flying fuck if Jameer Jones doesn't hit another free throw in the rest of his career. You need him in the game late in games.
Well,
he is a difference maker.
He was tied for the second most minutes the other night. He had 28. Him and Fox had 28 minutes with the second most. Sellers had 31 minutes for the most. So that is one adjustment that fans have been asking for. That was made. Jones getting more minutes. So
yes,
we have that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna sit here and complain, got to give credit where credit's due. Jameer Jones deserved more minutes. He's as far as hustle and talent, he's a top 3 player on your team. If you factor in hustle and just grit and difference making. Sorry, Leb.
No, it's totally okay. I was going to completely agree. And honestly, like, it does go to show Sellers, Edwards, Jones, and I would even put Vox in that category. Vox has been very cold, but overall this year, you do have to give Vox a lot of credit. It's really not on those guys. It's really on the guys that need to be rebounding better, playing better defense, playing their role a little bit better. I mean, dude, I saw people blaming Jayson Edwards after the Butler game, and that was just, like, disgusting. I mean, how are you, like, is this your first day on earth? Like, I get he made a really dumb decision, but the guy had almost 32 points. I mean, he was pulling up from the parking lot, keeping the team in the game when Sellers was gassed, and he did all he could. Vox was completely cold. Who do you want to score the ball? Like, oh, Edwards is selfish. Did you want who else?
Yeah,
who else?
He had 32 points against Butler. He was 12 for 22 from the field, 6 for 13 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
6 for 13 from 3. People are like, oh, he's taking too many shots. He can take every shot if he's almost 50% from 3. Just pull it. I don't care. Like, some people are just like, I think everyone's just so upset and they look for people and things to blame. But there's really only a handful of people that deserve blame. Jayson Edwards really isn't necessarily one of them. No. I think in some games you might have had a little bit of a gripe there. Like, I get it, and there were some games where he was cold and sometimes he forces some shots because he wants to get his numbers a little bit. But Butler, you can't blame him for Butler.
He was awesome that game.
Awesome.
I think, like, listen, did Edwards make the right play? I think we all know what I'm talking about. Was it a kind of boneheaded play at a very important time in the game where he has 3 wide open guys and tries to sell a foul to get to the line, ends up turning it over, turns into a 3, 5-point swing in double overtime? That's kind of important. Yes. But without his 32, you're getting pumped in regulation.
Absolutely.
You don't get to double OT without Jayson Edwards that game.
Correct. It's also not talked about that. Like, yeah, I know we read into body language and that whole press conference with Kim and whatnot, and that's fine. But he's a young guy. It takes some wherewithal to go up there and say the right things and say, hey, I'll play whatever role that coach wants me to play. And he hasn't complained about it. He hasn't gone on a Twitter rampage. You don't see any of his family members, saying, "Oh, he needs to be a starter or whatever." He accepted his role. He got a little bit of a demotion, and he came out there and he scored 32 points at Butler on the road in the Big East. And you got people hating on him. That's where just like the fan base sometimes. Not, and this is a very small population, but those fans lose me sometimes because it's like What do you want? Like what do you want really?
That was the reason why I ended up getting into it with the guy in my section was because of Jayson Edwards.
Yeah, and he was saying what else was he saying? That Mila and Vaaks should play.
He wanted Mila in over either Edwards and or Vaaks. I'm like, we need scorers, dude. He's like, he's a street baller. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I was like, I told him, I go, if you don't know ball, just say that. Just say that, dude. It's fine. Like, just let everyone in the section know. And it's cool. We'll all be fine with that. So I was just like, what are we talking about here? Like these guys put the ball in the cup. Like what? So
yeah, we
whatever.
Yeah, we need talented guys that can score.
Agreed. I don't know if we said it on air, but I know I've talked to both of you guys about it. And while we're airing out grievances, let's just fuck it. Let's puke it all out. Let's get all the bad shit out. Ryan Mila and Corey Floyd cannot be on the court at the same time.
We've been saying this.
They cannot be on the court at the same time. If you're a team that hangs your hat on, you're shooting early in the shot clock, you want to take a lot of threes, you want to get up and down the court, Mila and Floyd on the court at the same time limits your shooting ability, especially when you got to throw a big man in another one of those 5 spots. Mm-hmm. So now you have 1.5, 2 guys on the court where you really feel comfortable they can hit threes consistently. That's not a recipe for success. We have seen Ryan Mila and Corey Floyd. Listen, they've also caught a lot of flack. We have seen each of them individually make a difference in games. If you're going to play the offensive style that Kim English has rang the bell about all offseason, those two cannot be on the court at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we're playing on ball defense man to man, like people will just take Mela off the dribble and like kind of blow by him. Mm-hmm. Or if you get a switch, like he might not be fast enough to close out in a corner, and just a lot of our guys aren't closing out. We're giving up a ton of threes, but yeah, it's hurting you on both ends, especially when both those guys are in the game. And we've been saying that. Luckily, he started Jones, so the other night it didn't start out like that. But I think there was some times during that Seton Hall game when they did end up on the floor at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I think that a big problem that you see, and I think Mike's guy in his section probably epitomized this more than literally anyone. But this is an epidemic in the PC fan base, and it's the Ed Cooley flex derangement syndrome, thinking that you can put guys who have very little offensive talent in the Big East and like get them to be like 10 to 13 point per game players. Like, dude, if you want a team of Rodney Bullocks and you want to run the flex, that's fine. Like, I get it. That's what you want. But to compete at a high level and to get at higher levels than one Sweet 16 in 12 years and, one Big East championship in 12 years, you need to have elite talent and you need to have guys that can shoot and do things that these guys can do. I'm not saying this team is constructed well. The rosters probably has some flaws, but Ryan Mila and Corey Floyd are good players. I think they're role players, but like Jayson Edwards is a good player and he can score. Vaaks is a great player. He can score. That's what you really need at the end of the day. Like, there's a reason we only got to one Sweet 16 and we lost in the tournament almost in the first round every single year. And that's because we didn't have the talent to, put us over the top. We need those talented players, those elite players. The flex is great, but it's not a solution long term.
And I think you mentioned the talent, and if we were kind of to bring this full circle and zoom back out a little bit as far as the state of the program, you're starting 0-2 in the Big East against teams that you're probably fighting for positioning. Yeah, I think that's the phrase. You lose 2 close games against teams you probably should have beat. Like you said, one adjustment might have changed the outcome. And now you're staring down the barrel of 2 of the best teams in the country. You're looking at an 0-4 start in Big East. I'd be on the moon if the Friars come out of that 2-2 in Big East play. But let's call a spade a spade. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not.
This team, and this is probably my personal nightmare scenario because we talked about how great Kim English is at assembling talent. You are wasting one of probably the most talented teams from an individual standpoint that I've ever seen. I know my frame of reference is smaller than yours, like your guys's, but as far as individual talent on a team, I have not seen a Friars team this talented, and it's not even going to sniff an at-large bid.
Yeah. No, that's accurate. That's accurate.
That's malpractice. That's fucking malpractice.
Yeah. The 2022 team was I would say probably one of the most talented, because of Horkler's emergence and, Nate Watson and Al Durham, he was a 1-year mercenary, but he was so ready to come in and play. But this team, but this team is like the talent is there. And I think Kim is great at obtaining talent because he can sell these kids on like, hey, you're going to score at the very minimum 15 points per game. I think 3 guys on this team might end up averaging over 15 points per game throughout the whole year. Corey Floyd is probably going to end up averaging 11 points per game. What a thing to put on your resume as a coach that's trying to recruit kids to say, hey, I got Corey Floyd to average 11 points per game, in the Big East. Come play for me. I'll get you to 20. And it's like, I'm sign up, tomorrow. But like, is the roster constructed in a way that's made to win basketball games? That's the question.
And that's the thing. Like you've talked about, Leb. I think you've talked about it on air. It's easy for Kim to sell the dream to recruits of like, hey, like we play a fast style offense. I think that's what drove Stefan Vaaks to Providence was the NBA style offense that Kim planned to run. It's like, hey man, you and probably 2 other teammates are going to average in the high teens, low 20s. You can put up points. It's going to look good. Think about your career after this. I don't give a flying fuck if our leading scorer averages double digits.
Yeah.
The only stat that the 3 of us care about and this entire fan base cares about is what's in the win column. Win basketball games. I don't give a listen. Getting players drafted from your program is a great thing to have on your resume. I don't care if another Friar touches an NBA court for the rest of existence. This fan base and the 3 of want to see winning basketball. I don't care about just miss me with the extracurricular stuff. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Create a winning culture.
100% correct. 100%.
No, I completely agree with you on that. And then I had one stat here from Kevin Farhar. This guy's awesome. His articles are great. He's got a ton of great stats. He makes me a smarter fan, but a couple interesting things here. And I think this could go back to building NBA players and just kind of wanting to maybe pad your stats here with how good of an offense they've had. The 1.169 points per possession PC has scored this season is the program's best mark since the Big East realignment in 2013. Okay. And then you'll get a kick out of this one. But the issue is on the defensive end, where PC's 0.950 points per possession against ranks in the 24th percentile nationally and marked the program's worst number since conference realignment. So you have the best offensive points per possession since 2013 and the worst defensive points per possession since realignment. That's insane. That's an insane stat. And it drives me insane, and I'm sure all of us.
Doesn't work. It doesn't work. The only way it would work, the only way this team would be successful is if you had like a bunch of you need more glue guys. Like Corey Floyd is a good leader. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good kid, and he's going to end up being a 4-year Friar, which we might not see a 4-year Friar that actually plays. But yeah, right. Besides like the Luke Fontz's, right? We might not see a 4-year Friar that actually contributes on the court, maybe ever again, unless something's changed with the NIL situation. So you got to give Corey a ton of credit. I think he gets way too much criticism. But at the end of the day, like, they need glue guys. Year one, I mean, you had a veteran in Devin Carter, you had a veteran in Josh Odoro, you had a veteran in Ticket Gaines, and these were guys that I think really got the other guys to buy in. Year one, Kim English was a good team. I thought, they were a couple bounces away from being an at-large tournament team. Year two, it was the talent. Year three, I think they got no leadership, no toughness, no grittiness, nothing.
Yeah, and I think the NIL is a blessing and a curse. And I think that, unfortunately, it's just getting going now. And so is in Kim English's coaching career. So he's getting used to it. The whole country is getting used to how this is all working out now, because, the team, the players can almost hold a gun to your head and say, well, if I'm not going to play, man, like, I'm out. Okay. And that's the Wild West, dude. You're giving these kids a bunch of money, and then if they don't like what's going on halfway through the season, they'll quit on the team. They don't give a shit because they're going to go to another school the next year. So there needs to be something done. I was saying you need to sign like a 2-year contract. You at least need to play 2 years to stick around at a school, because like nothing's going to feel genuine. No one's going to care about the school they're at or the city that they're in or the fan base. It's just like, give me my check. And if you don't play me and I can get my points and look good so I can maybe get drafted, I'm out. And over time, I think that could really hurt the game of college basketball.
Oh, God.
And we have a clip we want to play by John Calipari. Is he the best messenger for this thing? Some people don't like him. Some people do. But I think what he said here makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna play this video quick, and then we will react to it.
So I say to you, if a kid transfers 4 times, is he going to graduate from that school? There's no way. You can't graduate. So now you're going to be done playing without a college degree. You have no ties to the last school you went to, where they feel that you're from Arkansas, you played here, we're here, you're going to have opportunity. That's done. You're offered $55,000 in your first job, and you go, what? $55,000? Do I have to show up? Are they going to, you got me an apartment, right, or a car? I mean, I'm worried about mental health. Mental health. That, look, I've been poor, and you know what's worse than being poor? Coming across some money and then being poor again. That's the worst. That's probably why I'm cheap, because I'm not going back there. But yeah. So my thing is, and I've been pushing this, you can transfer once without penalty. Because you picked the wrong school, the coach lied to you, there was another player that came that you didn't know about, one time. And after that, you got to sit. Because what do you think they're transferring for? Somebody help me here. Why are they say it? That's it. It isn't because they're mad at this or that. I can extort you, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going over here. If we cure that, I've been saying it for 5 years, no one listens to me. My dog, I call him, he runs the other way. My wife doesn't listen to me, no one listens. If we cure the transfer rule, 70% of our problems go away. We can deal with all the other stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, he might be onto something here, because something needs to be done.
Can someone wake up Charlie Baker? I mean, I'm sure he's hung over somewhere in a ditch, but somebody wake that guy up because we need some meaningful oversight in college basketball. It's really not that hard. A couple tweaks and everything would be fine. Just a couple small tweaks. That's it.
Right.
It's literally, it is the Wild West. There are no rules. What's the was it a Little Caesars commercial where the guy takes his shirt off? He's like, "There's no rules." He's like, "Put your shirt back on." There's one rule.
That's it. We just give me one rule. If you implemented one rule, like
millions of dollars, millions going all over the place, nothing. Do whatever you want.
Dude, the agents, you don't even need to be like, all right, to be a pro agent, you need a law degree. You need to take all these very, very, difficult tests. To be an agent in college basketball, you literally need to have a fucking cell phone. So it's like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. There's just not, there's so many bad people that are in it for the money, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
And unfortunately, the Friars were at the receiving end of a pretty big money-hungry party, and we've seen it firsthand. The NIL is the Wild West. You're seeing guys come in from the G League. You're seeing, I forget the guy's name, but he just came in. He's played 8 games for the Chicago Bulls, and he's getting interest. Are you shitting me? We need.
That's crazy.
If I had a tweet the other day, and I honestly, at this point, it's like 50-50 a joke. If Kim English has any interest in turning this season around, you call fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, anyone. You call every player on an NBA roster, and you get after it. I will say, Kim was asked about it in a presser earlier in the season. I believe there's a guy in the G League that the Friars were in on. I don't have the name off the top of my head, but there hasn't been much steam around that recently. I'd like to know where we stand on that. But, again, from a broad perspective, give me one rule. Just give me one rule. I really like the you got to sign a 2-year deal when you sign your letter of intent. Something. The one transfer rule. Ryan Hammer came out with a video today. Shout out Ryan Hammer. Just walked through like a list of like, this is what I would do. And it's really fucking simple. Charlie Baker, dude, you have the power to just say, all right, here it is. I don't mean to go on too much of a tangent, but I know there are lawyers out there that are just going to like have a field day with this shit. I think the unlimited transfer rule is a product of, I know there was a lawsuit where they said the NCAA would be limiting employment opportunities if players weren't allowed to transfer an unlimited amount of times, which I think is just absolute horseshit. Just sign contracts, implement contracts. It's that simple.
Yeah, there's too much at stake. There's too much on the line. There's too much money, like between with the fan bases and the schools. Like, you can't just be, because it's a domino effect. And we're seeing that. And it's like, you're never going to get like a complete season from a whole conference when everyone's bought in and you love your team, you love your school, you love what's going on with what you are involved in. And it's really frustrating. And the players should be getting paid. And I'm really happy that this is happening, but let's cross some T's and dot some I's and sign some contracts here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And I think like, Take us, for example, right? Well, all 3 of us went to public school, Imagine the public school kid, who's really good at basketball, has dreams of going D1, and, he's worked his ass off for 4 years, but, maybe couldn't afford prep school or whatever, but he's worthy of going D1. He goes to D1. He's playing public school basketball in March. 7 months later, he's playing against the fucking kid that was guarding LeBron James not 5 months ago. Like, what are we doing? Like, this kid went from fucking North Providence High School to playing against a kid that was just trying to guard KD. Like,
yeah.
I mean, what? The disparity is just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. in the sake of money, and nothing should ever be done in the sake of money. Everything gets worse when more money is involved, when private equity is involved. It's always going to get worse. So just a little bit of oversight is all we're asking for.
And my question, and this is a total hypothetical. I'm not saying I want this to happen or whatever, and we'll see what happens. But let's think about this. If for some reason Kim English doesn't return as the coach here, does any of these kids come back here next year?
I could see Mila.
You're gonna have to start from scratch.
That is I'd be lying if I said that wasn't an avenue I've thought about. I hope it's not a conversation we need to be having in 3 months, but it's definitely something to think about. And and this is across any sport. Players commit to a coach. They don't commit to a logo.
And then does Durkat come? Does Holt fall out of your top 4 or 5? I mean, granted, he's going to make his decision before then, but it's a domino effect.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could say, like Harrell is a guy where I feel like even if like Avid Mindsetter was the coach, he'd probably be a Friar. But like other than that, I don't see like everyone else I would be shocked. Maybe like Mila, like I said. But yeah, I mean, Vaaks, like Vaaks is gone.
Jones?
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
That's brutal.
That's why we need to push the Stefan Vaaks to the NBA narrative, because that kid, let's bring the vibes back. Let's get positive. Stefan Vaaks is an NBA player. He should be playing in fucking Orlando and then traveling to Dallas the next night next year.
I don't think he's ready yet.
Okay, interesting. What makes you say that?
I don't think he's ready yet. I think he is an NBA player, but I don't think he knocks down the 3 consistently enough to be an NBA draft pick. Maybe, like I said, he could go crazy at the end of the year this year, and he turns the ball over a decent amount, and his defense has been fine. Granted, NBA, no one's really playing defense to begin with, but he will be in the NBA. I don't know if he's ready yet. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, because if he gets drafted, that looks great for us. Like, hey, look we're still getting guys drafted here, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
So the last 3 games, I do 100% agree with Mike, but I think Vaaks is going to turn it around, and I think he's going to look a little more. I think there was a little bit of an adjustment period when he kind of took that step up in competition consistently. Also, like mentally, all right, now it's Big East play. Maybe it's and I know he had a bad game against Brown, but still, I mean, he's adjusting. I think that if he has a good conference, play where he's playing like he was, then I think he could be an NBA draft pick. I think just
for sure
the talent, like maybe the results aren't always 100% there, but there's a lot of variables that go into that. Like, can anyone get this guy the ball where he wants to get it? He can create his own shot, though. I will say he does a good job with it. So.
We posted a tweet on Divine Providence about Vaaks.
You did. That was a banger, dude.
Yeah, I did not expect that to blow up the way it did. But basically, the tweet read, we all know who Stefan Vaaks plays like. Everyone's just kind of afraid to say who. And the comparison is Luka Doncic. Like, up until this point, I feel like the comparison has been Luka just from like a point blank. Yeah, he's a white Eastern European guy who can play point guard. He can shoot the ball. Probably not the best defender. Super easy comparison. But, dude, I see like shades of Jayson Tatum. Genuinely. Someone told me I was crazy for it the other day. The frame that you can't teach. Yeah, he's lanky right now, but he's a young kid. Like, he'll come into his body. Pause. But when I see him get to his spot, I have flashbacks to the URI game where he does the up fake, makes a guy miss, one dribble, sidestep, get to his spot, pull up, and then I've watched enough Jayson Tatum to know what Jayson Tatum looks like. When he comes off a screen and the little he kind of hangs up a little bit coming off a screen, the way he tucks the ball like a running back, get into the rack, trying to go through contact, like He looks
I
like
can
Jayson
see it.
Tatum. He
I can
moves
see
like
it.
Jayson Tatum.
He moves exactly like Jason, and I didn't notice this until you pointed it out. And I think that obviously the two things that maybe prevent people from seeing that are number one, his skin color, obviously, and number two, the fact that Tatum is such a winner and he's a pro and he's a top 10. I mean, I think he's probably closer to top 5, but he's top 10 in the NBA. And this is a kid that is a freshman at PC, and we've done absolutely nothing. But one thing that I also will say about the Tatum comparison is when he decides to do something, he does it. Decisiveness. Jayson Tatum is probably one of the most decisive players I've ever watched play. Like when he is going to do something, he's going to do it. And Vaaks too. Like they move similar, but also I feel like the mindset is very, very similar as well. Like I'm going to get to this spot, and when I do, I'm going to shoot it no matter what. Like I'm going to shoot it. And that's kind of that to me, between the decisiveness and the how he moves, he really does have a lot of Jayson Tatum in him. Pause as well.
But yeah, and yeah, the decisiveness, it can be a blessing and a curse. Listen, as Celtics fan, Leb, you're a Celtics fan, correct? I know you're not a huge NBA guy.
I'm a Celtics fan. Yes.
Like I can speak for myself when I say I've watched enough Jayson Tatum to know what Jayson Tatum looks like. That is Jayson Tatum. The decisiveness can be a blessing and a curse. We talked earlier about how Vaaks is in a little bit of a slump. What is he, 5 for his last 19 from 3, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
But with that comes your games against Penn State, where he can catch fire. Your games against URI, where you have the craziest 2-minute stretch sequence anyone's ever seen in the Amica Mutual Pavilion. Like, he can catch fire. And 80% of the time, his decisiveness is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to keep that confidence up. He's got to keep that decisiveness up. And he's just got to find that stroke again. And once he does, I don't want him to have to change his game because he's cold. I want him to try to work through it. Maybe like a little less shooting if it's contested. But dude, if you're open, I don't care if you've missed your last 30. Shoot the goddamn ball. Period. Like, we need points. If we're gonna have any slight chance of whispers of possibly playing on Saturday in the Big East tournament, or on a mid-March day, late March day, then he's gonna need to be really, really great. So just shoot.
If you want to win this Saturday, he needs to be great.
Absolutely.
And I think that game is winnable. And again, me saying I don't think he's ready yet, like that, I love Vaaks. I want to say that. Like I do think he could be an NBA player. This is just me talking right now and where he is. But again, like we said, he could go crazy. And if we want to win any games at all, we need him to shoot lights out. Couple other news and notes things I wanted to talk about quickly. Daquan Davis, surgery he's done for the year. And some people were talking, if he wasn't hurt, he was supposed to be a defensive guy. Maybe he could have made his way into some of these rotations and helped us out a little bit. Do you think that Davis could have made that much of a difference on the defensive side if he didn't get hurt?
I think we saw it. We saw he can be pesky on the ball. We talked about the size a little bit. Edwards is definitely starting to earn more minutes. So, having the two of them on the court at the same time might not have been, feasible.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, if defense is the issue and you need a spark, man, that's a big piece you're missing. We also have seen 90% of the season without Daquan Davis. So
right.
It's not like, we saw one thing and now we're getting another. It's just you would prefer to have him in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Agreed. Tough beat for him. But, I hope he's back next year if he wants to be back.
And we haven't been on since Cooley threw a water bottle at an infant, have we?
Oh no, we haven't.
Thank you for reminding me, Mike.
Yes, dude, I totally forgot about that. Holy fuck!
So I mean, we got to talk a little Eddie. Yeah,
That is-
like Buddy fired that. He reared back and he goes, "Yeah." That's crazy. That's some shit I would do.
I don't think enough people are talking about Ed Cooley throws like a bitch. Like Ed, have you ever seen like you ever see like one of those like unathletic kids growing up and they try to throw like a baseball and they just spike it at the ground? That's what Ed Cooley's throw. Like he's facing up here, and that water bottle goes straight downward trajectory. That was terrible.
Right. He's trying to throw it up into the stands and he just line drives into this poor kid's
like right in the kid's chest.
I don't even have
Cooley assaulted a infant.
I thought it was AI when I first saw it. I was like, is this real? Like, what is this?
I don't know. Like, it's truly unbelievable. I mean, the PR, the nightmare that his PR team has had to face over the past 2.5 years is truly amazing. I mean, and he has the best PR team in the world because you still have media members that support him and glaze him unbelievably and unnecessarily. But man, is there anything this guy doesn't do? I mean, like Max said, he's an endless content glitch. Like it, when he said the I'm rich as shit thing, I was like, this guy's like losing his mind. He can't. Nothing else could be worse than this. And then he was like, oh, Illinois is a bullshit school, and the Virginia rumor thing, like you're don't dream on my dream. And then then he assaulted a child with a water bottle. It's like it never ends with this guy.
What did he do earlier this season? He was making a selfie video for some girl that went to PC, and he's just like,
yes,
I forgot what he said. It's something
he's
stupid.
He's like, 3 years ago, that was the last time you guys made the tournament. Meanwhile, he hasn't sniffed March's fucking jockstrap yet.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
For context, for anyone that hasn't seen the video, Ed Cooley, after Georgetown lost by 1 possession to Xavier, is it last Saturday? I believe last Saturday.
I don't even know what day it is.
In a fit of rage, fired a full water bottle at an infant. And yeah, so Leb, like you said, I wanted to give the context, but just turn around and hum that thing.
Hummed it.
Best PR team. He should be arrested for assault.
Arrested. He should be arrested. And Georgetown is such a prestigious university that has so much. They put so much effort and care into their brand and their how they're viewed, and their PR. And this guy's just like kind of like a sleazy salesman that comes in and like he's throwing fucking water bottles at kids. Like
crazy. Well, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, Leb, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, it's okay. I was gonna say, I think that's Vince Ashukwu's mom and his brother, and it's like this kid just had like heart surgery, and like, then they got the younger kid, and she brings him to the game, and he gets the fucking water bottle thrown at his chest, and I feel bad for that family, man. Like that mom's going through it.
Right. Wow, I didn't know the backstory there.
And the only reason he's showing any sort of public remorse is because it hit the relative of one of his players.
Right.
He knew damn well what he was doing when he was throwing that water bottle in the stands.
Yeah,
if that hit a 6-year-old who was at his first Georgetown game, you wouldn't have heard a fucking word out of that scumbag.
Correct.
Well, you even saw, I don't know if you guys saw or not. Who has a blog? Is it the Casual Hoya?
Yes.
Someone writes over there. He literally wrote an article, and some Georgetown fans weren't happy with it, saying that, like, is this grounds for firing?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of going, down the reasons why, and it's a bad look for Georgetown. Like, this thing made national news. Every outlet had this. ESPN, CBS, Fox, you name it. I had people like, a lot of people in my life, they know I'm a Providence fan. So anytime anything comes up with PC nationally or Cooley, I had a bunch of people texting me that are not PC fans. Like everybody saw this. Like this is, and like you said, Lev, like they're a prestigious school. It's Georgetown. Like that's a really bad look.
Tough.
And but people weren't happy that he did say that this is grounds for firing. I know how much we hate him. Put that aside. If you're a Georgetown fan, are you saying I'm fed up with this shit? This is grounds for getting this guy out of here.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: you're paying the guy, 4.8. I think they came out plus, incentives, but I'm sure they haven't really paid out any incentives because, I mean, they've been pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And all you've really gotten is just more hate from a lot of other fan bases,
right?
Illinois, Providence, other Big East schools, and the attendance issue has not gotten any better. In fact, this year I think it's worse than it was Ed Cooley year one. And you haven't accomplished anything. Okay, you beat Clemson at home. Congrats. That's unbelievable. And you beat Maryland on the road, who I stand by. That Maryland team at the time was the worst Power 5 team I've literally ever seen play offensively.
Yeah, that's also a team that's in year one with a new coach.
Correct. So, wow, amazing. Congratulations. Oh, and you beat Kentucky in an exhibition, and then now they want their coach fired. So, amazing. Congratulations. But you also went to overtime against St. Peter's, okay, and you lost to Xavier at home. And then after that game, Ed Cooley did assault a child. So I think it's a conglomeration of everything. Like if you're a Georgetown fan, I would be very upset. Like, and I'm not saying this from a glass houses, because I'm upset. I'm a PC fan and I'm upset. I'm upset at our situation, and I think our situation should change if the turnaround doesn't happen this year. But if I'm a Georgetown fan, like you can only be delusional for so long. Like Ed Cooley benefited from the conference realignment more than literally anybody. And I think he had a really good system. And I think that he kind of was there at the right time. But PC can do a lot better than Ed Cooley. And Georgetown can do a hell of a lot better than Ed Cooley. Mm-hmm. That's all I got to say.
I think Ed Cooley has made a career off of following two of the worst Power 5 coaches ever.
Yeah.
Like, he walks into a situation where the bar is incredibly low, slightly raises the bar.
Very true.
And everyone's happy.
Very true.
I have a scorching hot take here for Ed Cooley.
Oh no.
Red hot.
Don't do it.
Red hot. I think the perfect place for Ed Cooley once he gets fired from Georgetown is he goes right back to the heights where he started at Boston College.
I agree with that.
It makes so much sense. That program is in shambles, so it doesn't matter who they hire. That would be a great hire for BC because Earl Grant is horrible. That might be the biggest joke of a program in America. Okay, he's gonna bring some pizzazz. He's gonna be Ed Cooley, so he's gonna bring some attention to BC hoops. He started there. BC fans are upset about how they handle the Al Skinner thing, which even as much as I don't like BC hoops, they did Al Skinner dirty, man. Yeah, they have been horrible since the day Al Skinner left BC. And that's where Cooley started. He was an assistant coach with Al Skinner. I think that is a no-brainer.
Yep.
Is Ed Cooley back to Boston College?
I'd be really happy for both Boston College and Ed Cooley in those scenarios. And obviously, this is coming from number one Ed Cooley hater. But I think that like he always talked about Boston College so positively and like in such a gilded way. And I really, really think that would be a perfect spot for him because it's very low pressure, but it's also like, they do have enough juice in that program to where like if you win a little bit, the fans will come. With Georgetown, it's like I'm not even sure that there's enough fans left for them to come. So
and the arena is on campus. They just built a brand new basketball facility. It's nothing like ours, but you can see right into it. Like if you're ever on campus, you're going to like a football game, like it's all glass and you can see right into it. It's all brand new. Connie is unique. It's not great, but it's unique and you could fill that place up. BC back every year again with Cooley, man. Battles. Okay. That would be fun.
I love it. And I think that Ed would feel like this is part of him and he'd have that same passion. I don't see it with Georgetown, man.
No.
I just don't see it. I don't think he has that same love for it, you know?
That'd be I would actually, I'm kind of indifferent on like my stance on Ed if he ends up going there, but like that, I feel like that gives you an absolute layup of a P5 non-con game every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like who would say no to that on the schedule?
No, you'd have to do that. I mean, it'd be a natural rivalry.
Yep.
New England rivalry, Ed Cooley rivalry. It would be absolutely perfect. And
It would
then
get
Georgetown, they have the money. You know, they could go out and there's so many guys they could go out and get, but they need someone who I think is more suited for like who doesn't need a lot of like energy and passion to be successful. Like one of the reasons why Ed was so successful here is because the fan base is so passionate, and it became such a tough place to play. And those Ed Cooley teams were like grit, toughness, and passion, and the fan base is like grit, toughness, and passion. And they came together, and no one could win at the dunk. No one.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's just nothing there at Georgetown. There's just like no one gives a fuck. So like, you need a different kind of guy who's more like maybe a little more of like X's and O's, and you know, can do it without that juice. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're saying Georgetown finding a coach. You're saying
Georgetown, like to replace Ed Cooley if he were to go to Boston College.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And because where do they play majority of their games?
Capital One Arena. Capital One, and it's not that close to campus. And
you're fighting upstream.
They get 5,000 people if they're lucky in an NBA arena. 5,000 people in an NBA arena, it's like, I mean, that's horrifying. That's like playing in a church.
Yeah, dude. If PCBC played at Connie with Cooley, sell out. It'd be the first. I mean, they sell out Duke every year, but I mean, like that place would be electric. They've had some battles in there. We've had some battles against BC. I mean, that would be a tough pill to swallow. We lose against BC, Cooley coach team, but like, fuck it, dude. Let's ride.
Yeah,
like that would be fun.
I'm all in on it.
Me too.
Yeah, so that's my hot take.
No, I like it. I love the take. I said this before in multiple group chats. I think it's a great spot for him. I think it's phenomenal. All right. You guys got anything else or what? I'm kind of losing some steam here, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't really ate out anywhere. Just kind of been a lot of home cooking. I made some Christmas cookies, though. It was my Nana's recipe, my great-grandmother, who lived on Benefit Street in Providence. So shout out to Nana. But she had a cookie recipe I found, and I made it, and they came out pretty good. I might be a baker now. So I got that going for me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I do want to give a shout-out to Nap. He sent a really great spread of food from and I want to give a shout out to the catering company. I totally forgot the name of it, but chicken marsala, meatballs, pink vodka. Still got a ton in the freezer. You know, rolls, salad, like just fucking everything, man. It was, and then a huge Christmas cookie tray.
Yeah, that looked fire.
It was awesome. It was actually really like good quality cookies, like not like shit. And brownies too. Like, dude, it was incredible. So thank you to Steve Knapp. Obviously, he cares very, very deeply about the program, and I know he's at the front of the line to try to turn it around. So, big shout out.
Shout out Knapp.
Yeah, and Knapp's catching a lot of flack on Twitter right now, but I like Knapp a lot. I think he's a great person. I think he understands this community. I think he understands this fan base. And when I saw what he did for Leb to send him the food, like, even though it's a very small gesture, like that stuff goes a really long way. Obviously, I know for you, Leb, but like, as your friend and Mac, you're just seeing that. It's just like, this guy cares, man. Like, he gets it. He understands the area. He's from here. So I know things are hard right now, and some people aren't very happy with him, but I do believe in him, and I think he's a great person, and I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he understands this fan base for sure.
Definitely.
You can tell by talking to him for 5 minutes. Like, he cares about the program. Like you said, Mike, he's from here. He's a Friar fan. Like, this is he cares, and he's in a unique position where, you know, you can contribute to the team's success, but like also if things fall back, you know, your face is there. But, you know, I can, in my limited interactions with Knapp, I can tell you for certain he cares about the team. And obviously, you know, shout out Knapp, super classy move. You know, sending the food over to Lebby Poo.
Yep. And it was good, man. It was really fucking good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
You guys got anything else?
No, we'll just hopefully can pick up a win at MSG, and then we'll see everybody at the dunk for UConn.
Yep.
Mac,
when's your I was just gonna say Friar. When's your much anticipated return? You thinking?
Yeah, it's not gonna be January 7th.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's gonna be Georgetown. Because I'm taking it easy. But you know, I talked to my team, and they were like, give it like 3 months. And I was like, well, that's just not gonna happen. So, you know, we're gonna compromise at about a 1 3/4 months. You know, their job is obviously to make sure that kidney stays safe, but also, you know, I think there's a balance, and I think the first month is where your immune system is like completely eliminated to the point where, you know, your body is there's a new foreign object inside your body, and it's big, you know, relative to your body, and it's an organ, right? So your body wants to naturally reject it. So they have to eliminate your immune system for a little bit until your body naturally acclimates to the new thing inside your body. First month is there's no immune system whatsoever. After that, your body does adjust, and you know, you can take a lower dose of the like anti-rejection medications, which do reduce your immune system. So you know, I'm already like kind of tapering my dose down a little bit. We're getting lower and lower. So yeah, I mean, I think January, what's that, 25th, 26th?
Yeah, let me see.
January 24th.
24th, okay. Yeah, and I think it'd be fitting, you know. First game back, Georgetown, Ed Cooley. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the whole reason this show exists, is because of the documentary, you know. So I think it'd be fitting, and I'm not going to, you know, rush it. UConn would have been great, don't get me wrong, but I get Georgetown, and then on Valentine's Day I get, you know, St. John's. So those are the two that I want. And then the main goal is the Big East tournament in March. So, you know, that's the goal.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Excited, getting better every day, grinding. You know, a week and a half ago, I could have never imagined sitting upright and talking for an hour and 22 minutes. So just happy that making progress, and every day gets a little bit better.
Hell yeah.
The human body is an amazing thing.
Fuck yeah, it is.
From where you were until now, and you're able to sit up and talk and be here with us. It's a beautiful thing.
It is, dude. The December, I mean, it was what? December, the Saturday that the shooting happened, you know, at Brown. That was the first like time I think I wiped my own ass since December 8th. So that was the Monday, you know.
Wow.
So like now to be able to basically do everything that I could do, except like lifting, anything strength wise, you know, feels good, man. Feels good.
It's good.
Yeah.
One episode down with the new kidney.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It was a good one, man. I felt good. You know, we were kind of locked in, dialed, you know, my memory's a lot better. Like, you know, I'm obviously still fatigued, but there's a lot of things that I'm feeling that, you know, I wasn't feeling before. And like one of those is just the mental, I mean, I still have a little bit of brain fog from the meds, but like just the overall mental acuity and sharpness, I feel a lot better. You know, kidney failure sucks, man. brutal. And when your creatinine is really high and your urea is really high, it's shitty on the body. It's tough. So, little by little, we're getting there.
God bless.
Thank you. Enough about me. Go Friars. Get a W. Be competitive. Show some goddamn fight. And I'll be happy.
Hell yeah.
Here, here.
All right.
All right.
Go Friars.
Go Friars.
Go Friars.